A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel, guys. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. So a quick video today on pre-washing and snow foams and pre-washing the snow foam and all that sort of subject matter. So if you're new to detailing, we like to cover our cars in a layer of kind of surfactant, let it sit there and soften the dirt. Pressure once, rinse that off, ideally, and then that removes a lot of the dirt so that when you go back in and contact wash the car, you're rubbing around less dirt and hopefully scratching your paint less and doing a better job of cleaning your car. It's an easy way to remove dirt using the pressure washer. Now, we typically do that through a snow foam lance. You know, you put your snow foam over your car and let it soak in. You could also use a pump sprayer to spray the chemical onto your car, because some people argue it doesn't need to be all thick and foam, it's just the surfactant doing the work. And I think there's some truth to that. It's just quicker in a snow foam lance. Anyway, some schools of thought will tell you that before you go on with your snow foam, you could pressure wash the car down with just water and blast off some of that dirt before you do your snow foam. I don't think you should do that. But also some schools of thought get you to take another pre-wash, maybe like an APC, maybe like a TFR, traffic film remover, maybe like a citrus cleaner, put it in a pump sprayer, you know, or pump foamer or whatever, and go over your car and spray it with the citrus first and let that dwell. And then you could either pressure wash that off and snow foam it again and pressure wash that off, or put the snow foam on top of your pre-wash and pressure wash that off. Okay, now here's the reason why I don't think that's a good idea. This surface here is the surface on your car. This piece of bog roll is dry dirt film, and this is water, but you can think of it as your chemical that you're using. So we're going to wash our car, and what we do is we put our pre-wash on a pump sprayer, or we spray with water over the dirt film if you're just pre-washing, if you're just pressure washing with water. Now, of course, you're putting out more than this thing puts out. You know, you're spraying it on there, yeah? Now, imagine that's your dirt film, okay? What happens is that dirt film, when it's dry, will suck in, will suck in water or liquids into it, okay? And if they're chemicals, those chemicals can break down that dirt film. If any oil's in there from splashed up road film and stuff, it can just weaken them and emulsify them and just break down the dirt and soften it. And you see that with your finger. The problem is once that dirt film, and you can see it there, once it is saturated with a liquid, then you cannot get any more liquid into that, penetrating into that dirt film. It won't draw it in, because that's the very definition of saturated. It's full with a liquid. So when you start putting more chemical on top of it, I think this stuff might be coloured, but yeah, when you start putting more chemical on top of it, it doesn't get drawn into the cloth, into the dirt film, because it's saturated. So it just sits on top. That is the reason I don't tend to rinse the car first before I put on a snow foam. That is the reason I don't put on one chemical first and then put the snow foam on top. Because of that fact that the film can only get saturated once, and once it is saturated, it can't draw any more in, so you're kind of wasting a bit of chemical. You're also doubling your process effectively. If you rinsed first, then used a chemical pre-wash, APC, citrus, TFR, you're going around the car maybe to rinse, or going around the car to do the TFR. Then you're going around the car again with the snow foam. You're doubling the amount of chemicals you use. You're doubling the amount of time that you you're applying stuff to the surface of the car. And so there's more cost. It takes longer. But typically, I don't think it'll work as well. I think you'll inhibit your snow foam from doing its job. Now, there are arguments why you might want to do it, because this isn't a dictatorship. This is just how I do it. And you may have a certain type of contamination that you feel pre-treating is worth doing. For example, if your snow foam isn't effective on bug splatter and the front of your car's covered in bugs, you know, you might pre-soak the front out with some citrus because that's a more appropriate chemical. You know, there's little arguments. Can you think of any other arguments why? But I can't think of any really. I notice the best results when I use a powerful pre-wash and I get it onto the dirt, the dry dirt film, and it softens it to the point where you pressure rinse back, you see it all peeling off back to a clean panel that swipes kind of clean, you know, or 99% clean. Sometimes, yeah, you when you pressure wash back, you're pressure washing and you're stripping off some of the dirt, but then you just know, especially like when it's all built up on these lower bits, when it's not working and you're going back in and you can still see the dirt line. That's something I try and avoid. I want, if I've pre-washed and there's still dirt film all over the car, when I go and contact wash it, then the risks, if I don't contact every little piece of it, I see these little bits of dirt later on when I'm drying the car and stuff, and pick up a bit of dirt on the drying towel and rub it over the surface. So it's just a small little thing that I've noticed, and yeah, and I think it's something we've discussed before, like I say. Interested in your thoughts on it, but for me, yeah, just straight on to the dry dirt film with a powerful snow foam product that is really there to remove road film. It's really saturated, that's why it's on the bottom there. But it's really there to remove dirt film. So something like touchless works for me, but there's, you know, whatever you're using, if it's a powerful pre-wash and it's working, it's good. Is there an argument for milder kind of pH neutral pre-washes and stuff? Possibly if you're using a ceramic coating, possibly if you have like an old school oily paste wax and you're washing the car regularly, it's not that dirty. So it's up to you, you know, what you kind of want to use. What I tend to do is I use touchless, and in the winter, if I've left the car a long time, like the black one's been outside, the Black Peril, for a few weeks, it's going to need a good concentration of powerful pre-wash the next time I wash it. In the summer, for example, I might just take this out for a drive and it might have dust over it. What I can do is I can use a powerful pre-wash, but I knock the ratio right down so that it's kind of like thin, it's not that potent, the PIR if you like, and I'll just have less dwell time as necessary. So I can turn a powerful pre-wash into a mild one by understanding its kind of concentration and lowering it. It sounds complicated, it's just, you just use a lot less chemical. You know, even lower than 0.5 PIR might be possible, 0.25 might be possible, but just hardly any, almost, you know, and that in my head is like the equivalent of using a lot more of a milder surfactant at a higher concentrate. So that's the way I do it. Let me know in the comments what you feel about this. That's that subject of saturation. So this can't draw any more in, it's saturated. And my hands are now yellow. It was all yellow. So, yeah, an interesting thing, because I think anything to do with kind of process and that is going to vary from person to person. There's loads of different ways to skin a cat, and this whole detailing kind of stuff is very personal. It's very down to what you kind of do. You may disagree with this, and you may not do what I'm doing, and you may get fantastic results, and you may love your process and not want to change it. And by all means, do not. I'm just telling you kind of what I do and the reason behind it. But yeah, really important for me when I'm pre-washing and blasting off that I get back to a bare panel where there isn't that dirty film when I swipe across it and I've got like a line of dirt on my finger. I don't like that. Not on a car with good paint, you know, that you're washing regularly. This, even though this looks, right now, this looks fantastic, doesn't it? It looks fantastic on camera, but this car, I'm not too fussy about it. The black one, I really am quite fussy about it, because I get the torch out on the black one, it's not all hazy. There aren't deeper sort of swirl marks in it. This one there is. I'm not too bothered because it looks so glossy when you put a nice coat of wax on it, and you know, it just looks nice, the paint on this. You don't have to worry too much about swirls this time of year in red car. That driving around in that would just look fantastic. So this is all splitting the atom, as I've said before. So stay tuned to the channel, guys. I'm just in process of testing some new waxes, the SI Ramics and the Koch Chemie W01. They're both really cool products for different reasons, actually. And I thought I'd just shoot a video because we're getting into the winter months on that subject of pre-washing the pre-wash. And snow foam is a pre-wash, really. So it's like pre-washing the snow foam. It's like pre-washing the pre-wash. But yeah, there you go. Okay, over and out.